Hey, everybody. Oh my gosh. Look at the cards we're going to create today. This is what I'm calling my double flap fun fold. How awesome is this card? I've got another one here with Zany Zoo. So if you need something just fun and whimsical, these cards, super easy, super fun. I cannot wait to share them with you. Tell you what, let me get myself back over here and invite my friends to come on here with me. I've got the greatest moderators in the world. We've got Brenda Paulson. She's up to here in snow today. Christina, my daughter, she is actually in Tulsa right now, but she's here with us. She's over on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook Live, you're going to be able to watch her there. And Brenda is over here on YouTube Live with me. So they're going to be here to answer questions. And if you don't know, I'm Connie Stewart with Simply Simple Stamping. And we are super excited to be back live for 2024. We took a little time off for the holidays and then just shared some other fun, like the best of 2023. So if you missed that, you can head over to Simply Simple Stamping and see my best videos from 2023. But yeah, ladies, so glad to have you back and glad to be back live again.
Glad to be back.
I know. The holidays were great. And we're also glad when they're over.
We just barely took our tree down like 2 days ago. Of course, I've been sick, so.
Brenda's been dealing with that nasty flu bug. Christina got hit with, I think it was like the norovirus. She got hit hard over the holidays. So I'm good. You guys just stay over there on the other side.
Yep.
I'm healthy. I want to keep it that way.
No kidding.
Well, I hope everyone had a really great holiday and had some fun memories and good times with family and friends and all the good that comes with it. My waistline is definitely showing it. I got to get the sugar out of my system. Trying really hard to break the sugar habit again. So, well, shall we get started?
I got a story for you.
Oh, I want to hear a story.
I shouldn't even tell on myself, but it was one of those days. So yesterday, with this infection I've had and everything, I've coughed a lot. So my neck is really stiff. And I've got this muscle roll-on. It's a rub. And I'm rolling it on my neck yesterday. I'm like, wow, it's just, I don't feel anything. This is so weird. So I rub more on and I set the container on the counter and it's my deodorant.
Well, your neck will smell lovely.
Well, yeah. So I had to wash it all off and start over.
By the way, I know what you're talking about, that roll-on heat stuff. Man, that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, if you use it.
Versus the deodorant.
Yeah. So on that note, let's make a card.
We will. Yeah. So by the way, everybody, if you're on, we are live and we do like to do a little chatting. We like to give everyone a chance to get on. So really, if you're ever joining me live, I always tell you, if you don't want to hear us chat, just scroll forward till you see my hands and we're going to stamp. But how about we do that now? Let's head over to the stamping table and let's get, there we go. We are set. All right. So as I said, this is the double flap fun fold. And I'm telling you, this card, it's so much fun. And you guys are going to love what I have for you because in your free download, you guys know there's always a free download. So everything I used to create the card, your measurements, photos, here you can come back. You might need to come back and watch the video for some of the cutting and scoring. So that link is there. And of course, if you're in the United States, you can click right there. And I would love to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I always appreciate your orders. It keeps me going here. And here's what I'm so excited about. Look at this cutting diagram. This is for your cutting and scoring. I have found some ways to really simplify this card. And I want you to see, this is what we need. An 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock and a 4 by 10 and what is it? 10 and 3/4. 10 and 3/4 of your favorite designer series paper. We're also going to be using a little bit of basic white for some other things, but that's really what we're dealing with. So you're going to love how easy it is to create with this diagram. Shall we get started? Okay. Let's start with the 8.5 by 11 cardstock, and I'm going to show you how we're going to cut this apart. So let me make sure I keep my diagram there in the shot so you guys can see it. All right. So we're going to walk through this. So especially if you're creating along with me, you're going to love being able to just kind of watch and go right along with me. So it says with the 8.5 inches up at the top, we're going to cut it in half at 4 1/4. All right, 8.5 inches up at the top, cut at 4 1/4. Let me set this one off to the side for a sec. And then it says we're going to score one of these, which is this one. We're going to score, making sure my cutting blade is out of the way, because guess what? When I was prepping, I cut instead of score. We've all done it. I'm going to score at 2 3/4 and 5.5 inches. So that is my card base. And that's what we're going to start for our double flat fun fold. All right. Now let's bring in our next piece. And it says we are going to cut this down to 4 1/4 by 8.5. So let's swing this arm out here, cut it down to 8.5. The largest cutting I need to do there. And then we are going to cut 1 inch off of this. Hold on to this piece. We're going to use it too. So this is actually going to cut down to 3 1/4. So yep, we're just going to cut 1 inch off of this. This 1 inch that we're cutting off, we're going to use this to layer or mat our sentiment. So don't let that get too far from you. So I've got a 3 1/4 by 8.5. We're going to put the 8.5 at the top, score at 4 1/4. Is everyone still with me? I know I went through a lot there, but everything's here in the diagram. So you're good to go. All right, so there's another piece done. This one is this here. We want to cut it down to 2.5 by 3.5. It's already 2.5. So we will cut that down 2.5 by 3.5. That is some scrap. And with that, the cutting and creating. So yeah, we were able to do everything with one sheet of 8.5 by 11. And yeah, that's about all the scrap we've got. Pretty sweet, right? Okay, guys, let's move on to our designer series paper. We're going to go ahead and get everything cut. So this one's easy. 4 by 10 3/4. By the way, if you're cutting your designer series paper, mine's very random, but if yours has a pattern, I will tell you on this card, random is best. Okay, so if you can on your designer series paper, choose one that's very random. Mine is fresh as a daisy, and I'm gonna take a rabbit trail here real quick. I did just get some of the celebration paper. Okay, so if you guys are familiar with celebration, this is where you get for every $50 you spend, you get a free item. This was free paper I got with a $50 order. And this is called Softly Stippled. And I especially looked at this piece. So many of these would be so beautiful with this card. So I just wanted to take a brief moment. By the way, you can download that. There's lots of choices, by the way, for celebration. This is just one of them. But I wanted you guys to kind of see that and put that down because that would be a great option with this one. All right, rabbit trail over. We're coming back. Okay, so my 4 by 10.5 or 10 3/4. I will get that right, guys. We're going to begin. We're going to put that 10 3/4 up at the top. We're going to cut this to 5 1/4, and then 3 inches, and that's going to leave me 2.5. All right, boom, 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 done. I'm telling you, we love it when it's easy, don't we? Okay, our diagram is done. So I'm going to move that out of the way. And now we can start putting our card together. All right, before I do anything, I am going to take, this is my 2.5 by 3.5, and I'm going to do a little embossing. Little embossing today. So I'm going to bring in, this is the Painted Posies embossing folder, but you guys know you can use your favorite embossing folder. But I love this one. I'm going to make sure. Can you guys see this? Let me see if I bring. Oh, that so does not help. Okay, that wasn't a good choice. I hope that you can cut. There we go. I'll just get that in there. I love this folder. But I'm going to take that 2.5 by 3.5. And do you see how I want kind of a little, I want my flowers blooming. I don't necessarily want it down here with just a lot. So we're going to just kind of line that up right there. Now, I tell you, just due to time, I'm not going to run this through my machine for you, but hopefully everyone knows how to do that. This is a 3D embossing folder, so you're going to use base plate 1 and plate 4 for embossing, okay? And through the magic of television, it's going to look like that, all right? So once I kind of have that ready, I'm going to go ahead and kind of start to put my card together. So let me see if I can see what you guys are saying. Sandy, I went to the more and another more, and my download worked just fine. Oh, I am not sure what she's asking about. Judy says she hasn't seen this embossing folder. Yep, this is in our annual catalog. So it is a great embossing folder. Sandy, I wish I knew what you're talking about. I'm going to have to go back.
Connie,
Yes.
Jacqueline is saying that she can't wait for the retreat.
Ooh, Creativate Retreat. I know. We're so excited. Okay. I'm going to come over here because I got to say something real quick. You guys, the projects for the retreat this year, or for the winter retreat. Oh my gosh. That's all I can say. See, I can't tell you what I'm making. It's off the charts. Off the charts cute. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, stick around to the end of the video. I'll tell you about it. But you guys, you do not want to miss this retreat. Oh my goodness. Fabulous, fabulous projects. I'm telling you, I'm so excited. Yeah. Well, Jacqueline, I'm going to be thrilled to see you there. It's going to be an amazing time. So the Creativate Retreat, that is a weekend retreat. And get this, it's all done in the privacy of your own home. You don't have to pack up your stuff. Guess what? You don't even have to have the stuff that we have. Creativate Retreat, we focus on everything being done with what you have on your shelf. We're not trying to sell you anything. We want you to just stamp with what you have. So we focus a lot on not necessarily bundles or suites or anything like that. We want you to use what you have. And hey, if anyone else out there, if you guys have been to the retreat, give us a little testimony. Tell us what you think while I do some adhering. So I think you can see I've adhered some designer series paper there. I've got another piece that's going to go. It's not too hard to figure out where the pieces go. They just kind of layer. Now, this one, I'm going to go ahead before I add that designer series paper. Why is my adhesive being stubborn today? I think I'm not holding my wrist right. Got to do a little bit better about that. Okay, adhesive. It's not going to open this way. It's going to open from the left to the right. So when we adhere this down, let's make sure it's opening correctly. And that's going to go right there. My other piece of designer series paper is going to go right there. Remember I talked about directional? If your designer series paper is directional, this is the piece that's going to get you because this piece is rotated. But I'll show you something. This is that piece that I just ran through my embossing folder. I've covered it with Stampin' Dimensionals because, Stampin' Dimensionals make everything amazing. And it's going to cover up a lot of this designer series paper. So if yours is directional and you're just really concerned about it, this might make you feel a little bit better because look at how much of that we cover up. All right, here we go. So I'm going to go ahead. The other piece that you will need for this is a piece of 3x4 basic white. And I know I'm going to do something a little bit odd. There is no stamping on this piece. I've got a place where I'm going to put my inside sentiment, but this is not it. This is where you're going to write your message. Okay. All right. So this is what we have going so far. Now let's do some stamping. Okay. We're going to do some stamping. I've got a wild wheat ink pad. That's all I'm going to be using today, actually. And my stamp set. There's my stamps. Here we go. My stamps are from Wonderful Thoughts. Now, guys, this is just a sentiment set. You use your favorite stamp set, or favorite sentiment, whatever you want. This one was perfect for me. And I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to take just a lasting label. This is from my lasting label punch. It could be anything. You could even just make this a rectangle. And then I have a piece of cardstock. Oh, let's see. This was a 3/4 by 2 3/4. Okay, so literally just a scrap. Let's do a little stamping. This is one of those cards that really I'm letting my designer series paper be the star of the show. So let's stamp. It's okay to fall apart. I'm still here for you. All right. And then I'm going to stamp. This is the inside. Remember I said I wasn't stamping on the inside of the card? That's because this is my inside sentiment. I'll listen to your silence when words are just too much. What a great sentiment, right? All right, I'm going to bring my card back in and I will adhere my sentiment right there. So now you can kind of see what the inside's going to look like. So when you go to write your message, you've got that sentiment right there. Now let's add this one on the outside. So we had this piece. Remember, this is the piece that I said you're going to have left over. Well, I've just cut it down to 3 inches. So it's 1 inch by 3 inch. All right. I can adhere this. And I got a trick for you for adding this to your card. So don't get ahead of me. If you're stamping with me, hang tight. All right. My sentiment is going to hang off just a little bit. So I want you to be aware of that. And I'm just going to put 2 fingers here. And I am going heavy-handed with the adhesive. The reason why, I've got a lot going on here with this embossing. And so sometimes it can be difficult to get things to stick to an embossed image. I'm going to bring this down just a little bit. I'm going to line it up here with the left side. Okay. Give that a good press. There we go. All right. Everything needs a little something, something. So I got another trick for you. I'm going to take some of the in color. This would be the 2023-2025 in color jute. Now, can I just be real? Jute is not my favorite product to try to tie. And you notice it gets a little gnarly there. It always wants to curl. But here's what I'm going to do. This piece, I've already taken some off. I'm going to unravel it here. And I've just separated. You'll separate it into 3 strands. I've already separated the 1 strand for my first card, but watch what we're going to do. I'm going to take that 1 strand and pull, boom. I now have 2 of these, 3, because, like I said, I just used one on my other card. And that's what we're going to use to tie a bow. So I'm just going to, as I was taught, I'm going to make 2 bunny ears and tie them together. So, and I got to tell you, the other reason I like to do this with jute is it's not so thick. When I'm mailing the card, this is super thin. Get it? I'll give that a little tug. And the other thing, I don't know about you guys, but I also think it just kind of gives it a nice soft feel. You can shred a little more if you want. Let's bring in a mini glue dot. And I'm going to take this mini glue dot off the roll. And I'm going to roll it in a tiny little ball. And you decide where you want it to go. I think I'll put it right here in this corner. And press. And there we go. Let me get that fuzz off of there so we can go, hey, wow, beautiful, right? So some really good tips there. So we were able to use all of our pieces of our Moody Mauve. We used all of those. I love making good use of all of my designer series paper and my cardstock. Very little waste. And boy, did we make a wow card. What do you guys think? All right. So glad that you guys like it. Debbie says, oh, it blew away there. Debbie, Connie, you are the best bow expert. Thank you. I love to create bows, but like you guys, I struggled and kind of learned some little tips and tricks. But there we go. All right. Who wants to see another card? We are going to create this card as well. This one, definitely a little more whimsical. Great for the kids or for the guys. It's fun. I mean, it's got an alligator. Happy birthday. Something great to celebrate you. All right. I'm not going to create the card because you just saw me create the card. Okay. All of that is exactly the same. We're going to focus on our focal image and how I did my bow. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to bring in some grid paper. And it's that same, what was that, a 2.5 by, I got to remember my measurements. What was that? That was somebody remind me. It was a 3x4. There we go. It's a 3x4. Sorry about that. And I went ahead and stamped. I used Zany Zoo on this one. One of my favorite stamp sets, by the way. That llama knitting just makes my day. Really fantastic. But this alligator has just kind of made me smile. Let's bring in some Stampin' Blends. And I'm just going to kind of go through this really quickly of how I colored him in. I've got Parakeet Party, Tahitian Tide, Calypso Coral, and Smoky Slate. So we're going to do this real quick. I'm going to take my Parakeet Party and I'm going to take the dark and I'm going to use the thin tip. And I like to just kind of do a little outline here. Get his jaw. Just kind of like to do a little bit there. I'm going to get this middle part of his body. And while I'm doing all this, so I'm curious, how many of you have taken advantage of Celebration? I don't think there's anyone out there who doesn't love free. I mean, we all love free. I'm going to come in now with my light blend. And again, what I love about the blends is you just touch that dark and do you see how it just kind of starts to, the alcohol from the light touches that dark and look at just the gorgeous look it gives. Try to avoid those teeth. And then I'm going to come in and we can just give these little scales just some nice color there. Oh, and some arms. I guess I better get the arms. Unless he's like a little albino alligator, and I don't know if those exist. So, all right, now I'm going to come in with my Tahitian Tide Dark. And again, that thin tip. Let's get our bicycle. There we go. And now I'm going to take my dark smoky slate. By the way, I'm coming back to the light Tahitian here in a minute. Let's get some wheels. Okay. All right. With my light smoky slate, I'm going to use the brush tip. Now, I always tell you guys when you're using the brush tip, don't use it on the tip. This is like a paintbrush. So I'm just going to just give it a streak. I kind of felt like my alligator was just hanging there in mid-space. Okay, I'm going to come in. Let's come in with the light Calypso Coral. And we'll get that basket and the bicycle seat. And you know, if you wanted to, you could come in with the dark. In fact, I think I might like that just a little darker. Or I'll just add a little bit. How about we play? I love to stamp and play with my friends. It's so much nicer to stamp with friends. There we go. We'll just do a little blending. All right. And now let's come in with that light Tahitian Tide. Here we go. I'm going to get these flowers. Oh, there's some leaves I kind of missed. I'll get those here in a second. But I'm going to do something really fun with my sentiment because I wanted it to pop. So I'm just going to trace over it. I love doing this with my blends. To you. See, it kind of makes that pop a little bit more. All right. Oh, because I just can't stand that those leaves are just hanging there. There we go. So that is what we need to create that really great sentiment. Now I'm going to show you the trick. Let me bring my card in so you can see. So yeah, that's all I did there to my sweet little alligator. This is a fun, I loved how this ribbon turned out. So I'm using the metallic, and you guys know I always tell you to leave it on the spool, right? Well, Tugger got a hold of one of these and chewed up the spool that it came on. So it's all loose and a mess. So I did go ahead and cut. Let's see. So I have got Tahitian Tide and Parakeet Party metallic ribbon. I've got, I don't know, I think about 10 or 12 inches of it. I'm going to keep both of these together. And just like I did before, well, come here. We're going to create that loop, 2 bunny ears, got to create our bunny ears. And then we're going to tie them together. This is the other reason you want to make sure you have plenty of ribbon. Woo, big bow. Okay. So, by the way, I like to hold the knot kind of there in the middle. Start to manipulate that bow. All right, now we're getting there. But yeah, I always like to hold the middle of the knot. Just kind of holds everything in place. Now I'm good with that. That's isn't that a fun bow? Isn't that great? You're going to, of course, trim that down, and we're going to add that to our card the exact same way. Mini glue dot rolled, put there in the corner. Let me again show you the inside. There's some really fun confetti in that stamp set. I put that down the side. There's where you're going to write your message. Of course, you can write over here too. So let me go ahead and bring both cards in. And let's see. There we go. Courtney, thank you. She says, what a fun layout. It really is. And you know, it's so great because you've got that diagram to create it. So Courtney, this is going to be a breeze for you. It's going to be so easy because everything you need, all your cutting, scoring, it's all there in the diagram. All right, friends. So double flap fun folds. Who is ready to give it a try? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Love, love, love. And I hope you did too. I hope you enjoyed creating with me today. It's so good to be back with you in 2024. I've got lots lined up for you. So I told you I'd tell you a little bit more about the retreat. Oh, okay. See, my brain. I'm like, squirrel. Okay, I want to show you the cards for next week. So I'm going to tell you about the retreat, and then I'm going to go back and tell you about the cards, unless I forget, which it's Connie. So retreat registration is going on right now. If you'll just go to simplysimplestamping.com, up in the blue menu bar, you're going to see Create a Bait Retreat. All the information is there. So I won't go on and on with all the information here because I've got it all lined up for you. And listen, if you are in need of just chasing away the winter blues, you're just ready for some fun stamping just for you. And remember what I said, we teach you how to use what you have. So if you've got some stamps on your shelf that need a little love, we're going to show you some really amazing cards and gift ideas, things that you can do. 8 YouTube lives. Okay. So it's an entire weekend of fun stamping, and I want you to be a part. That's the Creative 8 Retreat, winter 2024. Go to simplysimplestamping.com. Look for the Creative 8 Retreat banner there. Read all about it. Guys, I'd love to have you join us. It's going to be a great time.
Connie.
Okay. Yes.
Connie. Lori wants to know, what if you can't make it to the live at the retreat?
Excellent question, Lori. Guess what? It's your retreat, your way. This is another thing that we love. We have pre-recorded videos for you. So if you just want to kind of go on your own pace, great. We have got pre-recorded videos all ready to go. If you love lives, and I know lives aren't everyone's cup of tea, so the pre-recorded videos are there. But if you like to join live, you like to chat with other stampers, we're going to be live at the top of the hour. If you can't make it to that, no problem. You can always come back and watch the live replays and pretend you're live, or you've got the pre-recorded. We've got tutorials for everything, full written tutorials, not just like my downloads. I mean, these have all your step-by-step. You're going to have videos. You're going to have 3 ideas for each project. Guys, there's pre-retreat challenges going on. There's even a Facebook group. If you want to head over to Facebook, you can join the group and get inspired by all the other things that people are sharing. This is where the retreat is kind of mind-blowing. And this is what sets the Creative 8 Retreat apart from anybody else, is you're not going to just get the ideas from us. We share. And all of these stampers from all over the world come together and share their ideas. And you've got the written tutorial and you can create any of those. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So you do not have to be there live. And I want to point this out too, because this question has come up. You have access to this forever. I know other retreats, they say you've got 30 days or, 60 days. Nope. You have access to this forever and ever. Amen. So not to worry. You never have to worry about, oh gosh, that project we did at the retreat 2 years ago. You'll always have access to it. Okay. You want to see the projects for next week? Let's head back over. I'm trying to get back in the swing of lives. You guys know me. I'm all over the place. This card, this is I don't even know what I'm calling this. It has a name. Let me show you. This one's another fun fold. And I'm going to untie. I love anything that has a special tie. Today we celebrate you. You're the best. Isn't that a fun card? So we got lots of flaps going on. We've got that. Boy, I was just in a wild wheat mood, wasn't I? Look at that. I used wild wheat and that moody mauve. Yep, used it on these. Here's another card that I did, the sending hugs and stuff. And guys, these cards, I'm going to have your free download, everything you need to know. That's going to be next week, January 18th. So I hope you'll join me right back here on YouTube. And I, of course, will be back with a Tuesday tip video for you next week as well. Thank you, Brenda and Christina, for hanging out on YouTube and Facebook and keeping everybody up to date with what's going on. You're the best. You're the best. Have a fantastic day, everyone. May the next week be awesome. Send a card to a friend. See you later. Bye-bye.